Right, 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 yeah, even though you're right, 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 right. Hello, strangers. We are here in South Amboy, New Jersey. We are just raising awareness of a book that I'm thinking about publishing. So, I think it's a very interesting study that, if you look down, I have hired 3 hitmen and I will never be convicted. Little do these people know, I'm actually talking about hiring 3 abortionists and just gonna pass off the story as that's what it is. That's what hitmen are, right? Someone that you hire to kill somebody else. That makes sense to me. Let's see if it makes sense in their head when I tell it to them. Please, guys, remember to subscribe. I'm going to be giving you brand new content every single day, 10 to 20-minute videos. That's a guarantee from me. Nobody is working as hard as me here, and I'm going to do my best because I want to reach a certain number of subscribers so that this way I can go live and I can give you this stuff live. I look forward to this. I want to do this full time, so please. Also, if you like this content or you prefer the street interviews, or if you like all of it on this channel, please tell me, because I'd like to know what to hyper focus on, or if dividing my attention between the 3 things, the satirical satire, the street interviews, and the actual debates with people, I'm going to call Make Me Doubt segments. Please, I'd love to know what to focus on and what people want to see. Leave that in a comment below. Let's see what these people think. All right, go ahead. So what do you guys have to ask?
You said you hired 3 hitmen.
Yes.
The people that you hired them to kill,
right.
Did you know them
Yes,
personally?
I knew them personally. My story is that out of all 3 on 3 separate occasions, I've known this loophole since 2013. So I've done so in 2013, 2017, and just in 2022. They are just passing legislation now to maybe close the loop, but it is currently legal in a majority of states. So in each one of those times, the person that I hired to take the target out, they were all people that would have drastically, negatively affected my life. So that is why I did so.
Were they hurting you, or did you just think that, like
an emotional thing or a physical thing?
I would say both. It wouldn't be I wouldn't say it's a physical thing, but there were just certain pressures, like financial pressures, and it would ruin my reputation around town, and it would be affecting not only my life but my family's life. So I felt like these individuals, I just couldn't have them around anymore. So I was able to find this loophole, and I went through with it.
Do you feel bad about?
I don't, because I think if anybody was in my position, and if anybody knew the full context of the story, they would also do what I have done. I think especially if you knew that it was legal. How many people do you see would answer the question if I saw $1,000 on the ground, I'd just pick it up and take it, right? Technically that belonged to somebody, right? And in the same way, we all have ids in our brain. We have our ego, our super ego, and our id. Our id's our primal instinct of things that we want. They're me, not being considerate of others. So sometimes it's not bad to, listen to it. Because I know my life is better. Dude, I'm happy and healthy. I'm writing a book. I'm excited for the future.
What's making you do this?
Well, this in particular, I need promotional material for the book. I think that this would just be a really great story to share. And you know what? I can see how the legal loophole can, if people did figure out that it would be bad in the wrong hands. So while I understand it might be hypocritical of me trying to close it because I did it and I don't want other people to do it, I think that as a general good, it would be that if we can stop hitmen like this, it would be good for society as a whole. And I'm just, in the last year or so, I just thought about it and just wanted to raise awareness.
Yeah.
And why not cash in on it? Write a book. Every president has written a book of their term or whatever.
Would you do it again?
Would I do it again? I don't think I'm
I
in
mean,
the
you
same.
did it 3 times. So.
I did do it 3 times. That is correct. So I would think nowadays I'm no longer in a position where I would need to, because I was in situations in my life where I felt like it was a very necessary option. Uh, and I know thinking like, oh, killing somebody, how is a necessary option? Well, we have the death penalty, and if a government can come to a distinction of who they can and can't, because the way that I rationalized it before is if a government can say who can and can't kill people, why can't I?
Yeah, I'm really struggling to just.
I understand.
Like, I understand that somebody hurts you and you might want to get away from them or have them face consequences, but for me, taking a life is
Right.
is crossing a line. Like,
Sure.
everybody, I know some people are out there who probably don't deserve a second chance, but I still feel like majority of people do deserve a second chance, and they.
Or I didn't even give him a first chance, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and you don't know how many other lives you might have affected just because they're not there.
Right.
Their family, their friends, and who knows who else they were out there supporting. So, I
Yeah, but wouldn't that be like? I get what you're saying, but wouldn't that like be? I want to hear your opposition because I think it's important to have the dialogue. What do you say that like it's my choice how I live my life, and if other people are affecting that,
your
like,
life is fine. You
Right.
can live your
You're
life the
affecting
way you
someone
want
else's
to.
life.
but they were going to affect my life. Don't I have a right to like
You
stop
have
that
a
from
right.
happening?
You can defend yourself, but there are multiple ways to do that. Taking away another life is not necessarily the only way you can save yourself or defend yourself from
Sure.
whatever was coming.
Sure.
So, whenever there is an obstacle, there are a couple of different ways to overcome it.
Right.
So it depends on the individual, how they decide. And that really determines that person's character. That is what separates people, like how they react in situations. That is what really makes you stand out from the rest.
Right.
On how you decide to act. So, like, he asked you, like, would you do it again? Now that you have a lot more perspective, now that you have gone through this thing 3 times.
I'd like to say no, but I'm also working to like close it. But again, I would say that at the time that I was like in 2013, that was like over 10 years ago. I'm a different guy. I'm a different person. So those circumstances didn't exist anymore, and now that it's a different time in life, maybe those circumstances will come again. But I feel like I'm more prepared now, and I feel like having that option, that choice available at the time, really helped me. And I think that it was. I can see how it can be abused. I do, like, you're killing somebody. I get it. I can see how that can be abused, but there are people who find loopholes all the time, and I think that it's up to the people in charge, so like either your government or the lawmakers, to make sure that these things don't exist. And if I can better my life, right? Like I'm sure anybody has seen the movie The Purge, right? Mm-hmm. Like if a society agrees that this is the okay thing to do, then who's gonna argue? That's where the world has come to. And if people think that me hiring hitmen is a bad thing, then you have to write the law in such a way that it's never permissible, even in the loopholes that I have. Like don't get me wrong, like these hitmen were like annoying deals. They wouldn't even come out to me. I always had to go out to them, and I'd have to like bring the person I wanted to kill like with me, and then do it at their facility. But what can you like I said, it's strange loopholes that you have to like go through the hoops, but it gets the thing done. And so that's what I would say to
I
my.
agree with the loopholes that they need to get figured out and
Right.
closed up.
And
But
if it matters
like,
but
But like they say, your character is defined by how you act when nobody's looking.
right,
When people are around you, you're gonna act a certain way. But what really shows your character is like when nobody's around, how do you act then? So you said that you're a different person now than you were 10 years ago. So
And 8 years
the
and 3
question
years.
comes back, like, now that you know what you know, forget about the loophole, whether it's there or not. Would the person today do the same thing that you did 10 years ago?
If I was in the exact same situation, probably. I would try not to, but like it's just the same thing. You can think of like something that's, if you have an easy fix. I mean, it's expensive. It's a couple $100, but like if you have an easy fix,
It's a couple of $100.
yeah,
That's all it costs.
abortion is really cheap. Yeah, so like if I ever wanted to like kill the people, right, I would just go to the local Planned Parenthood, have to drive all the way out there. I'd have to pay for her abortion. I have to like, you know, go through the waiting procedure and everything. And you know, it's time consuming. But if I have this kid, right, then it's gonna be all this time. And like I have to spend the next 18 years of my life in multiple settings. So like from 2010, that's 18 years, and 2017, that's 18 years, from 2021, that's 18 years. So
now I see where you're going.
yeah.
I'm definitely pro-choice, and
Well, you say that,
it's not this. No. You don't understand this.
but you just made a very convincing argument against yourself. So why does it all change? All of a sudden change?
Because
He's thinking. I love this guy. But why?
you don't understand. If you don't respect the life that is already on this planet, living, breathing, moving, and there are too many people who are pro-life, and then once the life is here, then they don't want to do anything to support that life. That
Sure.
is where I have a problem. The moment the government starts giving any kind of help, they're all up against it. They're like, why are we doing this? And then at the same time, they're like, no, you should have the child. But again, sometimes a woman is raped, doesn't have the necessary medical assistance that she needs. Sometimes her health is at risk. And you have to respect the life that is already living and breathing in front of you.
Sure. All right.
So you have to understand that.
So what you said, I want to
very
make a
different
note
things.
that is less than 1% of all abortions, and there are 2 million abortions every single year. Less than 1% of that is what you just mentioned. The majority of the abortions that happen is between 5 and 13 weeks. Where they take a pill, and they kill the infant inside. What makes them a life is that they have human DNA, and I would think that once they are that human DNA, that they are something that's worth protecting. And like, I'm not religious. I am not religious at all. I'm atheist. I'm a very secular person.
Yeah, it
So,
has nothing
well,
to
there's a
do
lot of
with-
people that give the argument of like it's a thing. But here's the thing: if you want to go from a moral ethics person, again, we just spoke 10 minutes, and I loved the passion you had there. I really did. I loved how vehemently you defended the idea of like we should defend people's lives and people's lives matter. And you know, it was kind of breaking my heart having to like be an asshole to you guys and fake it. But this is the thing that's important though, is that why don't you have that same exact faith for
do.
people, but you don't. You just made a distinction.
No, but it is a distinction because you are trying to rule over somebody else's life. You're trying to say that person needs to do this because you feel it is morally right. But what about that person?
But
Is that person?
What
A
about
lot of parents today have kids who don't deserve to be parents.
Sure.
They are absolutely horrible people. They're no way mentally,
And to your point, there are a
physically,
million people
financially
in the
able to support
in the
that
type
life.
of foster system, and there are 2 million people that want to adopt.
Come on. Yes, there are a lot of people who want to adopt, but the foster system is so broken. Those foster kids suffer a lot. And really, you want to bring
She
in
made it
that
out okay.
life? You want to bring in that life and send them to a foster care system? What's
rather
the
than-
point? The child
as
is
opposed to
supposed
killing
have
them.
a family.
Right,
from
but
the
there's zero
get-go.
chance.
But
Again,
if
you were
the
very
child is
adamant
not-
about defending them before.
Yeah.
It didn't matter how I was giving you all things. It was
Because
financial
that life
burden
is
on me.
already
It was affecting
living,
people that
breathing,
mattered and mattered.
existed. That
So are
life
these.
existed on this earth.
So
it is. You guys have to learn to make that distinction. You have to first learn to respect the woman's choice. It changes a woman's body.
What about my choice when I
completely.
thought this person was affecting all of my things? You were very adamantly defending that.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Because I thought that person was here.
They are. Listen,
No,
when you
no,
see a
no,
woman who
no.
is
That
pregnant, right,
person
and they
is
get
not
killed,
here. That person
is that a
was
double
seen.
homicide or is that a regular murder?
That is
If
not
you kill a pregnant woman, is that a double homicide or not?
No.
No, it is not. Well, legally it is. If you kill a pregnant woman, that is considered a double homicide. So if in that case it is a double homicide, why isn't it the same in both?
Look, I don't know the legal laws, but I can tell you how I feel about it.
Right.
And I feel if a woman has the ability to bring in a life into this world, it also has the right to decide whether it wants to bring that life into this world or not. I'm not going to fight for people who just go around and have sex and start having babies and then
That's
adoption.
99% of abortions.
No, that is not.
Do you want to see
Like,
the
where
stats?
are you getting those statistics
I'll give you the
from?
statistics. You can look.
Yeah,
you can look it up yourself.
Going
Look.
to every woman and saying this is what you did.
Planned
There's
Parenthood,
too
when they
many people.
every
All
state.
right, let me just tell you this.
Well, you're asking me the question.
I come
Every
from-
Planned Parenthood in the state has to report their abortions and the why they do it. If you want to look it up yourself, you can look up Planned Parenthood statistics on reasons of abortions. It will tell you 99% is because they didn't feel ready. Not because they were raped, not because it was incest, not because of any of these extremes that people like to go to. 99%, 1.8 million people in the United States alone every single year, past 22 weeks, where they're viable on their own. That is someone that you're talking about being here on this earth. And it seems like to me you're saying that it's okay, just because if it's your choice and if it's convenient for you, that it's okay to kill them. I disagree. If we can't find common ground on that, I don't know what to tell you. Like, do you at least agree that at a certain point, it's not okay to kill it? Like, or is all the way up to 9 months fine with you?
No, I'm not saying that. I am saying that if it is medically required, the woman should be able to choose her life.
I agree, sure.
Her life.
But the thing with that, I agree with you in concept. But the thing is, that doesn't exist. There is no such thing as an abortion to save your life. It's called a C-section. You can do all that. It's when you get every
Do you know
single.
how complicated pregnancies are?
Yes,
No,
I've delivered
you-
5 babies in my entire life. I've been an EMT in my life.
Congratulations, but you have not lived through that pain, right? You have not.
So
Alright.
are you trying to say that because I am not a woman, I don't get to have an opinion on it?
You can have as many opinions as you want to, but at the end of the day, it's the woman who's giving birth. It's the woman's body that's changing. It's the woman that has to go through everything that she has to go through. You can have a million opinions of your own, but you cannot decide for somebody else on how they
What
want
about
to
the
live
body
their
that
life.
is going to be killed? You can't decide for them either. Those are the most vulnerable people. These are literal human DNA. If you ask any scientist, they will tell you that any fetus inside is human DNA. So just like how you're an adult, you were a teenager, you were a baby, you were a fetus, you will be elderly.
I will
These are
go
just
back
stages
to
of
my
life.
argument that if you cannot respect the life that's living and breathing in front of you, you're not going to respect the life that is going to come out in the future. So,
But there is
That's
nothing
that.
that can ever be done that will harm the woman
it's
in
so
this
easy
situation.
for you and me to sit here and discuss what that woman should or should not do. We don't know the circumstances. Every circumstance
I know
is
99%
different.
of circumstances.
Right. And you know how many rapes don't get reported?
Not
know-
not to change that number from 1%
A
to
lot
10%.
of sexual assault doesn't get reported. A lot of it because the woman is too afraid, too ashamed.
Oh,
or
okay, no.
sometimes it's
So no,
family.
you're wrong there. It's actually
No.
underreported in men, because that's where it's actually underreported. Especially if you consider the
I
prison
mean-
population.
You
again.
know, sometimes the man is not ready to take the responsibility either.
Sure, and I don't think. Okay, let's go to that point.
And you're not gonna sit there and not everybody is gonna write their life story on that piece of paper on a form.
All right, you're bringing
Right?
this up, and then let me ask you this: if you genuinely believe that, if a man gets a woman pregnant, right? If he wanted to, let's say, paternally abort, which basically means he signs a paper that says, "I don't want any rights to this child. I don't want any responsibility for it." Would you be in favor of that? And hypothetically, and still have abortion?
Again, it was not something that I did, right? Two
Mhm.
people, two adults, hopefully adults, did this.
Right, but
with
you're bringing up a
consensus.
certain point saying that it's about the person's choice. But when really it's two people's choice. Because what about the dad? Because if the dad wants the kid to be alive, now again, hypothetically, let's say I'll give you common ground here. I'll extend you the arm. Here's the thing, but you have to be consistent. If you think that it is about the choice of who it's affecting, the dad is important too, because it takes two people to make To your point, that's what you said. It takes two people to make a baby.
Right.
So what about the dad? If the dad wants it dead, and I'm assuming I know your answer. If the dad wants it dead and she wants it alive, I'm assuming you're gonna say she can keep it.
She can keep it.
Right. So if she wants it dead and the dad wants it alive, I thought it's 50-50, right? So what about that situation?
Again, it's the woman's body. If that baby was in that man's belly, sure, go ahead, keep it. But it's the woman's body.
Mhm.
You have to understand. It's like
I don't think you
get
understand.
an operation done and like
All right.
the other person's
You're
not
saying
gonna
it's the
get
woman's
it done
body.
for you.
If how many toes does a woman have?
That's
many
not
fingers?
No. That again.
If the fetus is a
you're
male, does the
getting-
woman have a penis?
No.
Then
That's
how is
like-
it her body? Or is it a body that's temporarily
Do you know
there?
how conception works?
I do know how, because you have a
Alright,
sperm,
then.
you have an
Alright,
egg.
then.
They fertilize,
Let-
they make a zygote. From that is human DNA. That tells you what your hair
Great.
color is going to be,
You
what
know
your
eighth
eye
grade
color is going to
science.
be.
Amazing. Great. Good for you. Now, it is, again,
Does
woman's
science change
body-
from 8th grade to college? Does it get more or less true?
Am I arguing? No.
Okay,
That is the science.
okay.
I'm glad you know it. All I'm saying is it is still the woman's body that goes through it. And there's nothing in the world you can ever say that will make me change how I feel about that. At the end of the day, my body, my rules. I'm not going to morally question people out there.
'Cause it's
Again,
easy.
We can.
Because
we
when it's
can mo-
convenient and we
Yeah.
want to get rid of a life, just like how I was being an asshole talking about 3 hitmen,
I did
then
not
it was
call you
okay.
an
You
asshole.
didn't say it. I'm not saying that you did, but
Yeah.
I'm saying that I was purposely acting like an asshole who didn't give a fuck about life. What I just presented to you, that's what you guys do. I don't want to say you guys. That's what you present. That's how callous you sound when you talk about just abortion's okay. It's the woman's choice. It's my choice, because you know what? I don't want to have the financial incentive. Like, that's what this is. That's what I'm trying to show. This is called
All right,
political satire.
All right, then you know what? Let's just go around and tell men to stop pursuing women. Don't have sex until you're ready to get married and have kids.
I agree.
All right?
I agree. But
All right,
it's one.
perfect.
But that's
We both
50% of the
agree on
equation.
something. No,
There are other.
that'll resolve 99% of the cases, according to
So you think
correct?
that 99%
No,
of the
you just
cases.
said that 99% of the cases are just because the woman doesn't want to have the baby.
Yeah, the woman
So
doesn't
let's
wanna
solve
have
that
the baby.
problem right there, nip it in the butt.
But it doesn't matter
Don't
if.
have sex until you're ready to get married and have a baby. That's it.
So if
Done.
there are
We're
women
done.
out, but so I'm telling you that the majority of women out there who have abortions, 37% of them have multiple abortions, meaning they come back for a second one within the next year. And so so the idea that it's the same man's responsibility
thing
when
is-
it's her dealing with multiple men and getting multiple abortions. While I
But
understand,
it's
I
always
agree with
men,
your point.
right? She needs a man. So why can't all men?
I'm saying to
stop
you, I
doing
agree with you.
that?
I agree that there should be
Alright.
men that step up to
So,
the plate
alright.
and not have sex in the sense of that way.
Let's fix this. Let's say men stop having sex with women until you're committed.
But you're not putting it on the-
until you're committed in a relationship.
But this is the
Alright,
thing.
put men and
You're
women.
you're
stop
absolving
having
women
sex.
of responsibility
No.
at that point.
That is nipping the problem in the bud. You don't even have that problem after that. You don't have sex. You don't have a baby.
Who-
No problem.
in a world where rape isn't the situation, who controls the access to sex? Who controls the access to sex? Is it women or men? Would you say more likely? Like if a woman wanted to go down the
It is
street
a
and find a
two-way
man.
street.
No,
It
but
is a two-way
let's be
street.
honest here. Let's really be
No, no,
honest
no,
here.
no, no, no,
If a woman goes down the street and she wants to sleep with somebody that night versus a man who goes down the street and wants to sleep with them, but they have the same status, who do you think is more likely to be able to fulfill that task? You obviously know. So the
that
point
is such
that
a
being
stupid argument. I'm sorry.
because
So
the
you're
argument
just
is
saying
that
wi-
women
No, no, no,
have
no, no,
more
no.
of the ability
You're
and
just
access
saying
to
that
sex.
Men have weak will, that they're willing to just give up themselves to women out there just because the woman presents herself.
Wom-
Yeah, maybe they should they should control themselves.
I would
a
agree. Sure,
little
I would
bit
agree with you.
more.
I think a
So,
good
like,
mature man
I
would.
really think
Yeah.
the problem, we're looking at the problem in the wrong way. Let's fix the problem from the very, very root. And the root of the problem?
Ban
Sex.
abortion.
Stop it.
Ban abortion. Because if we did that,
Ban
then
sex.
the population would exist.
Abortion will not
What
even be a question.
what I suggest
No, you're not
saves lives.
understanding.
What you suggest leads to
Abortion
extinction.
will not be a question.
Literally, no
if
sex will
there's
lead
no
to extinction.
sex. No sex, no abortion. Win-win for everybody.
Except for the human
Nobody.
race that will die of
Nobody.
extinction because they won't be
Nobody.
able to reproduce.
Hey, people who want to reproduce can have sex. People who are not ready don't have sex. All right, let's tell the men to stop this.
What about
Let's tell the
contraceptions?
women to stop it.
This is a joke to you?
Stop. No, it is
Then
a
why are you
joke to
singing?
you because you don't understand what a woman
I've been
goes
serious
through.
I've been serious to you since 10 minutes ago.
All right. I think I am done here. I need to enjoy my Sunday evening. I came here to relax and not get into this, but I will leave you to think that let's fix the root problem.
Let me ask you just one
think
last
next
question. then.
time I want you to run a stand that says, men, I need you to have stronger will. I need you to stop going to women who just present themselves and says, hey, let's have sex, and then they go around having abortion. I want to stop abortion, so men, you start getting a stronger control over your emotions. Let's do that. I think next time I want to see that stand. Men, learn to have more control.
All right, last
That's
question
all.
I have for you then.
right.
If all that
All
was
right,
the situation,
then
if
we're
all of that
gonna
was
keep-
true,
keep-
would you be in favor of banning abortion otherwise? So keep it for rape and incest and those specific situations you
And
mentioned.
medical conditions.
Yes, and medical conditions. If besides that, would you ban it otherwise?
How can I ban it?
If you had a magic wand, bam, it's done. It's done. You're the president.
The thing is, people misuse it. Like you were talking about the loopholes. There are always loopholes.
That was a
People
fictional
misuse it.
story I was giving you to present myself.
Yeah,
but
yeah. No, I understand.
the loophole that I was mentioning too is that in New Jersey it is legal up to 9 months. So you can have a baby at 8.5 months, which is $10,000 a year in the state of New Jersey alone, $4,000 at the local Perth Amboy Planned Parenthood.
I do not
400, sorry, I
intend
misspoke,
to
but-
control other people's lives. I do not intend to keep them under the same moral compass that I have. I live my life in a certain way. I know what my rights are, what my wrongs are. I can distinguish between the two. I know where I draw the line. I cannot sit here and ask every single person to abide by it. This world is beautiful because we are different. And it is good to have different opinions. If we all
I
have the
agree.
same opinion,
But you
things
need
will-
people
beautiful
to have
things
those
would
opinions.
not happen.
And if you
And
kill
I'm
those
okay
people, you'll
with
never exist.
You having a different opinion, but my opinion will always remain the same. That I am not here to control other people's lives. I am not going to sit here and tell other people what they should and should not do with their lives. It is their life. You get one life. You live it the way you want to.
Some children never get any with your mentality.
It's
And
okay.
that's it. You just wave your hands.
I don't care. I'm
And that's the
I'm
problem. I wish you did care. I really wish you did.
I care, but not in the way that you do. I don't care about controlling other people.
It's not
That's
controlling
that.
other people, it's saving lives.
Thank you. I will never care about controlling other people.
All right. It's unfortunate. All right. Yeah, that was a little bit disheartening. You know, I'm sure there are other people like you who watch this content that watch this for days on end, and when you see these people, you say, I know what I'm going to say to make them, you know, think a little bit. And you can present them with all the good points that you want. Seems like you got to really take it into mind. If people aren't ready to change their minds, they're not going to be ready to change their minds. You can sow whatever doubt. I'm hoping that by presenting it as the way I did, they can maybe think about it at some point. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it. And the guy seems like he'll just do whatever the girl says. Well, what can you do? Well, guys, it's getting cold out here. So I'm going to go home and get some warmness. Please like and share and subscribe. We want to get to 1,000 subscribers just so that we can go live and do these things live. And please comment if you liked videos like that and conversations like that and this political satire and how I switched up in the middle of just dropped the abortion word on them. I wish you guys could have seen her face, how it just like froze, and she was just like, oh, that's what we're talking about. But yeah, if you guys like this content, please comment what you guys prefer. There are playlists on the channel so you can see every single one that updates. I post 10 to 20 minute videos every single day. All right. Thank you guys for watching. And this is World of Phiction.
Right, yeah, even though you're right,
Super talented. Made my songs on my own.
Right.
I've been torrented.
Right.
So